So I want to talk about, he's on his way. I want to talk about something that surprised me earlier, Nicholas Jackson and the fee that it would cost to get Jackson out of Chelsea. Tell us.
Well, we've had some information over the course of the last couple of hours about Chelsea. We know that they've been really active over the course of the last few transfer windows. They've stockpiled players, they've bought players, they've looked at young players, they've got a certain type of profile they look at. One of the players they have signed, Nicholas Jackson, was just in excess of £35 million. There's been a lot of talk about his future as well. We know that Chelsea are happy with the squad they have at the moment, and they are looking to go into the season with 2 out-and-out number 9s, but a third player that can play as a false 9 or play as a number 9. João Pedro being one of them, Liam Delap being another. At the moment, they have Nicholas Jackson. They also have Pedro Neto as well, who can play in that role. But there's been a lot of talk about Nicholas Jackson and his future at Chelsea. First things first, he's got 8 years left on his Chelsea contract.
That's a great point. He has.
8 years. So Chelsea hold the cards. And they'll be saying, well, actually, for a player of this quality and this calibre, look at Hugo Ekitike, look at his record, look at what he's done. He's going to Liverpool for £79 million. So as far as we're concerned, Nicholas Jackson, who's been playing in a better league, in a tougher league, and scoring goals, actually, he's probably worth £80 to £100 million. So if Chelsea were to sell Nicholas Jackson...
That's a lot of money.
It's a huge amount of money. But you couldn't argue against that based on the market value for other players during this summer's window.
Goodness.
You could argue that Nicholas Jackson is a better player than Hugo Ekitike. He's played Premier League football. He's scored more goals. His record's been fairly solid at Chelsea. Last season, 10 goals in 5 assists in 30 games. The season before that was 14 goals in 35 games and 5 assists.
80 to 100 million, Mark.
Hey.
They're having a laugh.
You having a laugh?
They're having a laugh. Come on, surely.
That's where they're at. Chelsea have the ability to say, this is what we value the player at. And if you've got teams from Saudi Arabia, teams from Europe, maybe other Premier League teams, and I'll tell you one of the other Premier League teams that have an interest in Nicholas Jackson, it's Manchester United. Then you're actually saying, well, you pay 70 plus for Rasmus Højlund, 80 million for Nicholas Jackson. That's not unreasonable. That's the market value for those types of players at that type of age at the moment.
I wonder if Manchester United fans would think that was unreasonable. I bet they would. I bet they'd go, that's crazy money.
Possibly. But ultimately, something in a transfer window is only worth, A, what someone wants to pay, and B, what someone is happy to sell for. And just very quickly, Mike, on that Manchester United theme and the Chelsea theme as well, because this Nicholas Jackson departure could mean that they're in the market to make more signings. The likes of Xavi Simons on their radar, Alejandro Garnacho also on their radar, Morgan Rogers at Aston Villa, also a player of interest, and Keenan Yildiz as well, another player they like. So we talk about Chelsea in every single window. Could they be about to spend big depending on the departure of Nicholas Jackson should it happen? Going to be fascinating. This fills me with dread, but we've still got 42 days to go, and it takes less than 24 hours to make a deal happen. We could see a lot of deals between now and September the 1st.
You know we will. Mark McAdam with all the transfer news. Thank you, Mark.
Right then, Blues. Gather round because what I'm about to tell you might just knock your socks off. We've got some absolutely mental news coming out of Stamford Bridge, and it's got everything to do with valuations, transfer speculation, and the sort of numbers that'll make your head spin faster than a Hazard nutmeg. Now, we all know how this window's been shaping up, don't we? Chelsea have been busy as ever, stockpiling talent like we're preparing for the apocalypse. But here's where it gets interesting. And I mean properly interesting. We're hearing whispers about valuations that are so eye-watering, they make Roman Abramovich's yacht payments look like pocket money. Before we dive deeper into this madness though, if you're loving these exclusive insights and want to stay ahead of every single Chelsea development, smash that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next in this transfer window. It's going to be absolutely bonkers, and we'll have you covered every step of the way. So here's the situation, and brace yourselves for this one. We're talking about a player who cost us just north of $35 million not too long ago. 8-year contract, mind you. That's the sort of forward planning that shows the board aren't messing about. This lad's been doing his bit, hasn't he? Decent return on goals, contributing when it matters, and showing the sort of consistency we haven't seen from a striker in years. But here's where your jaw is going to hit the floor. The valuation being thrown about? We're talking 80, 100 million. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly 3 times what we paid for him. And before you start thinking the club's lost the plot, let's put this into perspective, shall we? Look at what's happening in the market right now. All right, players who've never kicked a ball in the Premier League are going for 70 and 80 million without anyone batting an eyelid. Meanwhile, we've got a striker who's proven himself in the toughest league in the world, scored goals consistently across 2 seasons, and is still young enough to improve massively. The numbers don't lie, do they? Last season alone, 10 goals and 5 assists in 30 appearances. The season before that, 14 goals and 5 assists in 35 games. That's not world-class territory yet, but it's solid, consistent output from a player who's still finding his feet at the highest level. And here's the kicker. Apparently there's genuine interest from up north. Manchester United are sniffing around, which tells you everything you need to know about the lad's potential. They've just spunked $70+ million on Højlund, so why wouldn't they consider similar money for a proven Premier League performer? From Chelsea's perspective, this makes perfect business sense. We hold all the cards here. 8 years left on that contract means we can name our price and stick to it. If someone wants our player badly enough, they'll pay what we're asking. It's that simple. But here's what's got me thinking, and this is pure speculation, mind. Could this be Chelsea's way of funding another massive spending spree? We're already being linked with some serious talent. Jamal Musiala's name keeps popping up. Alejandro Garnacho is apparently on the radar, and don't even get me started on the Morgan Rogers situation at Villa. The financial fair play regulations mean we need to be clever about how we operate, and selling a player for 3 times what we paid could give us serious wiggle room in the market. It's the sort of shrewd business that could set us up perfectly for another title challenge. What's fascinating about all this is how it reflects our current transfer strategy. We're not just buying players anymore, we're buying assets. Young, talented players on long contracts who can either become world-class performers or valuable commodities in future windows. Whatever happens with this situation, one thing's crystal clear. Chelsea are playing the transfer game at a completely different level to everyone else. Whether that leads to success on the pitch remains to be seen. But from a business perspective, it's absolutely genius. Keep your eyes peeled, Blues. This window's nowhere near finished. And if these valuations are anything to go by, we're in for one hell of a ride.